What's going on, everyone? What's happening? Let's make sure that the sound is good. What's going on? Awesome. All right. Looks like the sound is good. Let's get started. Let's make sure the video is good. Awesome. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? Welcome. Welcome to a brand new week. This is the only time I will be here this week because I have a project out of town. So I will not be, you will get videos on the channel, but no live session. So I will not be here at 4 p.m. on Wednesday and Thursday, just today. But usually we're here for from data to deals. We're here at 4 p.m. every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays every week. We come here, hang out, talk about the business, what's going on in the business. If you have any questions, I would like to answer them right now with regards to wholesaling, but not just wholesaling, real estate as a business, as a home business, as a business, entrepreneurship in the grand scheme of things. If you have any particular question, I would like to answer those questions on these sessions. All right. So my name is Ola. I'm the author of Smart Real Estate Wholesaling, which you can find for free at smartrealestateWholesaling.com at this time. That free thing is going away. It's just going away. People don't value free. So, and we sure don't value free. All right. People that want things bad enough, they understand that they despise free lunch. And we're finding that out very quickly. We find that when people pay, they pay attention. When they don't pay, they don't pay attention. They have, all kind of legitimate excuses that basically blocks their blessings, uh, with little regards or respect for if it's legitimate or not. Even legitimate excuses does destroy your chances of winning big in this game. All right. So with that being said, if you're hanging out with me for the first time and you're one of our customers, welcome. We just made sure that for the first time, we're letting you know that we do hang out here at 4 p.m. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, except this week. This is the only day this week. We hang out here, answer any questions you may have, put some inspiration in place for you because I understand it's very, very hard, especially if you haven't paid $25,000 to be here. It's very, very hard to take it seriously, to basically make sure that you don't give room for excuses. All right. So with that being said, let's have some fun. Let's talk about it. Today we want to talk about do you need sales skills in wholesaling, in real estate business, in flipping houses around the nation from home? Okay. Do you need sales skills? All right. And that was inspired because I watched another video where basically, somebody is selling a big $2,000 program now that will help you with sales. Okay. And frankly, I believe that most people don't need that. Okay. But I want to be careful when I say that because my sales skills has helped me a lot. Okay. It's probably the number one skill that has paid me the most in my career in the past 15 years as an entrepreneur, but more so being able to write them in words. Okay. Not necessarily being able to handle people one on one. I can handle people one on one. I've done that, actually cold call, actually close people on the phone, but it's not necessarily fun. Okay. It's a skill set that I know that I can't front. It has helped me somehow, some way over the years, but I'm still convinced that you don't necessarily need a master's degree in sales in order to pull this business off successfully, because I believe we're in a different era, and people more and more so they don't appreciate being sold, right? They like the idea of them making the choice. They like the idea of them being the one with the options. Okay. And that's not necessarily a bad thing for us as business owners. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just you have to understand that and you have to pivot. All right. So that's very, very important. All right. So, and that's why I wanted to. So, I want to be careful. I don't want to say You don't need sales skills. However, I don't think you need a master's degree. I don't think you need to learn the skills of closing 100% of the people you talk to, because frankly, that would never happen. Okay. There's always going to be somebody, regardless of what you have to offer, that will, So, for example, we have a offer right now, the promotion that's going on, and somebody came on an ad on Facebook and say, "Hey, this is also amount of money is not 90%. It's not accurately 90%. It's more like 95.222%." And that's the reason why they think we're dumb and they won't buy from us. Okay, so that I'm actually giving that person the credit, because at least they're deciding. But my point there is that there are always going to be somebody that will find your offer not what they want. It's not about you. Okay, it's just about that moment in time. It's about everything about them, and it's really not about you. And I wanted to stress that so you can understand that the idea of you learning a skill set that can just close anyone, right? That really doesn't exist. Okay, that's the real fact, and that's becoming more and more and more true. Okay, so even some of the greatest products in our world today, the Tesla, right? BMW, right? Not everyone is sold on those things, right? Even money. Sometimes you have to, the idea that money is good in life, some people are convinced that no, money is not everything. And I'm actually one of them. Okay. So, but my point there is that the idea that you're going to take a piece of a product or service that you offer, and everyone is just going to get sold because you learn this one skill set, sales or closing, hard closing, is basically what you're going to be learning. And people more and more continue to discount the effect of hard closing in the world that we live in. Why? Because they could literally take this hand device right in front of you and search and see many other options, potentially better options than whatever you're offering them. Okay. So in this case, let's say we're dealing with acquisition in real estate, right? And you're looking to purchase somebody's property at 50 cents on the dollar. That's what ultimately you would like. If you go there and you say that's the only choice that you have, that's the only option you have for them, that you buy $100,000 house at $50,000, and then they actually give me an offer and say, well, what if I give you an offer? What? And you start asking all these slick questions that basically gives you away as a salesy person. You're gonna fail. All right, you're just gonna fail. So I'm just gonna tell you right now, okay, that the sales skills it's not the end all be all of this game. All right, you need to understand that it's a little bit beyond that. Okay, like I always say, let me just review this really quickly with you. Just look at this really quickly, and I'll be right back in about 15 seconds. All right, how's that? So, data, contact leads, contract deals. That's basically this business, okay? And when you get stuck on the idea of the skill set of sales, you're basically saying that you want to jump all the way through between the stages 3 and 4. And a lot of people engage in that kind of mindset and basically get stuck. Okay, basically you're solving a problem that you don't have already. Okay, so if you're learning sales skills before you learn how to collect the right type of data, quality data, and learn how to manipulate, learn how to analyze data. If you're learning that before, if you're learning leads, how to close a lead into a contract before you learn how to generate data and then convert that into contact, meaning learn how to run successful marketing campaign. You don't have that problem yet. You're solving a problem that you don't have, and that right there is a major, major, major problem that a lot of people have. All right. So today, however, Like I said, I don't think you need to have master's degree, but there are a couple of things, four things I want to share with you with regards to sales that I think you should know. Okay, that I use handily all the time. That if you have it and you just become a student of those four things, then you have everything covered with regards to the usefulness of sales in this game. But outside of that, it's not necessary. You don't have to be the biggest closing person. You don't have to be any of that. Okay. And you damn sure don't need to pay $2,000 for, or don't let me say that. I want to be careful with that because I'm a big advocate of becoming a master at whatever you want to learn. So there are deeper expertise level you can go to about sales. I'm just telling you, it's not a requirement to get started. What you're required to get started in this game is learn how to manipulate data, analyze data, collect data. That's where it starts from. All right. So before I continue into the four things that you need to learn with regards to, do you need sales skills? There are four things that I think you should know. I'm going to share that with you in a second. Let me go here and see. All right. Charlie says, hi, Ola. I'm a big fan of your channel. I'm currently doing your 11 days challenge. That's awesome, Charlie. That's awesome. And it has such excellent information. It's truly great value. Thanks so much for your books, too. I appreciate you, Charlie. Thank you so much for that. And I'm in Florida, and I heard that ringless voicemail is illegal. Are there other states where this strategy is also illegal? Could you shed some light on this? Do you think it's still a good idea to use? That's a good question. So I have used ringless voicemails before. I'm not a big fan of it. And this topic we're talking about is probably a good reason for it. Okay. Again, ringless voicemail is just intrusive. Okay. Just think about being on the other side of that coin. It's not illegal in many states, but I think it's going to become illegal. I think so. Okay. Because again, for the very simple fact that it's just intrusive, it's you basically bypass somebody's phone ringing and you go straight into their voicemail. That's very annoying. That's very, very annoying. And I do get those sometimes, on my personal phone, and they are very annoying. And if they're annoying to me and I'm a marketer and a professional, imagine to a person who doesn't care about marketing, who can't really relate with the person that's marketing, right? It's just a very, very extremely annoying thing. And that's why in Florida, they're already frowning at it. And many states is already creating legislations against it, that kind of marketing activities. Basically, since the history of mankind, sales and marketing destroys everything. Or let me say, sorry, marketers destroy everything because they overly abuse it. And that's what's going on with ringless voicemail. But there's some things that have basically stand the test of time. Okay. And one of them is direct mail. Okay. The only thing with direct mail is that you don't want to just be mailing everybody. You want to make sure that you learn data collection. So I'm glad you're going through the 11 days challenge, because that's the first things you learn, how to make sure you're sending to quality data, not just everyone. You don't need to send mail to everyone in pre-foreclosure. Not everyone is not going to be motivated. There's no magic thing to making sure they're motivated, but you increase your chances of a motivated seller by learning how the data works and certain attributes that correlate with people that are most likely willing to sell you a house at a discount. So direct mailing still works. You just want to make sure you're not just throwing spaghetti at the wall. There's a strategy to it. And then also I like text messages, because text messages is not intrusive. At least somebody gets to see or decide when to respond to you. And if it's right, they say yes. If it's not right, they say no. So I'm just going to tell you, like, ringless voicemail is not even something I recommend. I have used them before. They're not even, if they were like crazy effective, like you really get me 10 times the result, then I would say maybe it's worth going after, but it's not worth going after. There are other options. Okay. So there's also email marketing, as you're learning in the 11 days challenge. Those things has stood the test of time. That's emails and direct mail. For obvious reasons. They will always be marketing tools for marketers, and there's no place that you will ever go to where some legislators sit down in a chamber somewhere and they're making laws against them, so you can't market with them. You can always market with them. The worst thing they can say is that they want you to disclose that this is a marketing thing. So you even see lawyers use direct mail a lot, but you will see them also disclose that this is a promotion, this is advertisement, right? So that's the worst thing they can do. All right. So yeah, BNB says texting is illegal also. All right, there you have it. So that's why we have other options. Okay, so now as far as the extent of how text it could be illegal in certain states, I'm sure there's there's some extra information about that, so the idea of making completely illegal, I'm not too sure about that. Maybe they make you put a disclaimer, a disclosure that says stop if they want to opt out or something, like give them the choice to opt out and things like that. But again, the other flip side of these things is that, are you really selling when you're offering to buy somebody's house? Is that really selling? Some people will say yes, it's still selling. Some people will say no, that's not selling. I'm looking to make an offer on your house. And if you don't want to sell your house, okay, no problem. Thank you. Want me to take you off my list? Well, I don't have a list. I was just interested in your property. Semantics. So again, it's completely your choice there. Personally speaking, I think text message is less intrusive. I go by my moral compass for the most part, and that's usually good enough, right? And I think text messaging is less intrusive than ringless voicemails. For me personally, ringless voicemails are very annoying. So that's why I don't really recommend it. But if you Google information on where those things are illegal, that will probably give you a best answer. You will see a couple of maybe articles talk about how they're illegal in what state. So Google is probably your best bet for that. But like I said, you have options. Okay. The only time people will start saying direct mailing is expensive is because they are trying to mail everyone in the neighborhood. Of course it's expensive. But if you know certain things about data and you know how to manipulate data the right way, it's never expensive. It's a matter of competition and making sure you're not playing where the competitions are playing. You have to go a little bit beyond that. Okay. So that's that for now. So let's dive in a little bit. I got a few more minutes. I got 9 minutes to cover these 4 things that I think you should learn about with regards to sale in this game. All right. So number 1, the right message. What is the right message? So marketing message, to be precise, I'm talking about marketing message. And if you read Smart Real Estate Wholesaling, we talk about the 3 core pillars. One of the pillars is value. That's the first pillar, actually, value. If you're offering value to a person, if you focus on value, if all your activities is value driven, right, then there's really no need for overly salesy practices, right? Like learning how to handle objections. Handling objections at the very core of it has to be value driven. Okay. If a person says, I don't have the money to buy your shit right now, excuse my French, right? Then you better have something of value to handle that the objection, right? It is an objection, but it could be legitimate. It's not relevant if it's legitimate or not. Your job is to get the sales, right? That's your job. So my thing is that there are multiple variables between that, So, but it starts with the right marketing message, So if who's your ideal person that you want to deal with? That again, it goes back to the quality of your data. The ideal person that would sell you a property at a 50 cents on a dollar discount, right? Who's that person? And that person is in their right mind, because remember, this must be valuable to the other person, right? So that person has to be in their right mind for them to be willing to do that. If they're not in their right mind, that's not valuable to them. That means you're manipulating someone and you're taking advantage of that. That's absolutely not what we teach. We don't want you to do that. If you do that enough time, it's going to come back and bite you. But if you show up to somebody, that's an ideal person, you show up to, and you're buying their house at 50 cents on a dollar, and that's in fact a valuable thing to them. So that's why the simple marketing message when it comes to flipping houses nationwide is simply, we buy houses, we buy ugly houses. It doesn't matter what the condition is, and we will consider paying all your closing costs. No commissions, okay? Basically, you need to be talking to a person that has some circumstance or circumstances that put them in a position where they have to get rid of a property. That property is no value to them. It's of no value to them. It could be valuable to you, but of no value to them, because people's circumstances vary from people to people. So again, it starts with the right marketing message. If you are one of those people that try to tweak the message all the time, like, hey, what if I say I can help you with foreclosures and stop using we buy houses? Would I get more results? No, you won't get more results. Okay, you won't get more results. First of all, your energy is being focused on changing the marketing message as opposed to other things, which I'm still going to mention as opposed to the other variables where your energy is best focused on. Okay, so again, there are resources in this game. You're trying to buy houses very cheaply using creative financing, using subject to deals, using wholesaling. You want to buy to hold, but you need to buy very cheaply so that you can come in with some equity, have some space to repair the property, put it back on the market, or rent it out so you can keep collecting cash for life, right? That's what you're trying to do. Who is the person on the other end? What's the message they need to hear? Whatever that message is, need to be the right message. It's very, very simple. We buy houses. I buy ugly houses. I buy houses in any condition. Oh, it's fire damaged. I want to see it. Well, it's a land, but I want to see it. I want to make an offer on it. Make an offer on it, right? You make an offer on it, you flip it, or you hold on to it, wherever the exit strategy is. Okay. If you don't know what all the exit strategy is, by the way, I am still giving away this book for free. This is my newest book, Real Estate Money Secrets. Okay. So we talk about all the exit strategies in the game of real estate in there. All right. It's not just wholesaling. Wholesaling is one exit strategy out of many. Okay. All right. So the right message, you start with, if you have the right message, there won't be a need to be overly salesy. Okay. Now, sales can be used sometimes, again, when somebody's on the fence, but really all of that, I will show you the only answer to that in number 3. Okay. Number 2 is the right audience. Okay. You have to be talking to the right person. So if you say we buy houses and then you go on the MLS and you're talking to people that have listed their house at full retail price, that's the wrong audience. Okay. They don't want $50,000 for their $100,000 house. They want 105. As a matter of fact, they want a bidding war, right? So that would be the wrong audience. So there's no amount of sales skills you're going to have to convince that person to sell you their house at $50,000. Yeah, overly simplified example, but I think it helps to understand what I'm saying. The right audience, the right message to the right audience is what you need, okay? The way you do that in this time and age, 2020 and beyond, is to learn how the data is to learn where you can get access to data, okay? The right data that will give you access to the right information so you can increase your chances that this person fall in the spectrum of a person that will be most likely willing to sell me a house at a discount, because it's the most valuable thing that can happen to them right now. So a person that inherits a house that they don't really live in Phoenix City in Alabama. They don't, okay? They live in Phoenix in Arizona, in the city. So they don't really want a house, but they inherited it anyway. So the house needs some work, needs $30,000 worth of work. The house is worth $150,000 if you put in the $30,000. So I don't have the time for all that. Can we just sell this house that they talk to their siblings, maybe they inherited it together, and say, let's just sell it at $45,000. Okay, we'll take 30. Let's keep it moving, right? That's ideally what you're looking for. So what does that tell you? You stay away from on the market deals. You go to a list of people that have passed away and finding their heir and things like that. That's another list that you can actually find, that you can nail down and find those people in charge of those kind of properties, and they will be happy. It's to be a valuable thing to them to sell you the property at 50, 60 cents on a dollar. Okay. So does that make sense? So right message, right audience. If you have that, that's really where you need to get started. This third one I'm about to share with you is probably what you're going to learn a lot about inside a sales course masterclass or master program, right? But is really simple. However, breaking it down into the little technicalities can help in the long run, maybe even in your personal life and getting what you want out of life, out of your relationships and stuff like that. And it's simply emotional intelligence. Okay. So if you're talking to a person that just lost their mother yesterday, you want to your intentions are not going to be good enough. Your intentions may be to serve them, but that's not good enough. You need to be sensitive to where they're coming from. They just lost a loved one, right? Or they're in a position where they're like, you're calling me again, and then you want to be able to understand where they're coming from. That is annoying that they've received 50 calls from a wholesaler from wholesalers in the past 24 hours. So how do you use words to empathize with them and still get them on your side? How do you build rapport with them? That's something you can give some thoughts to. That's something you can pick up a book about and learn more about. But I think it'll be useful when you're having conversations with people. So once you get into this stage, again, this is a problem that you can solve if you get into between stage 3 and 4, and you're noticing that a lot of your leads, even though they want to sell, they're not signing the contract. You may find it useful at that point. But again, if you're not generating leads yet, that is a problem that you don't even have yet. As a matter of fact, you may have enough skills or just natural skills enough to convert enough, and you don't have to worry about that. But I'm just letting you know at what stage that will be necessary. Okay. So now let's get back to number 4, last but not least. Okay. A pipeline mindset. Pipeline mindset. What do I mean by pipeline mindset? Pipeline mindset is a little bit different from the mindset of I want to close everybody. Okay. You need a pipeline. You need leads coming into that pipeline all the time. That's the number one skill set, so that even if you're making mistakes along the way, the best way to learn in life is actually mistakes. It's still mistakes. I can teach you. I can put systems together. I can, like Charlie was saying earlier, I can make things a little bit easier with a challenge for you, so you can get going and execute a little bit faster rather than just running around 100,000 videos on YouTube. You can get things going because you are executing, right? By the end of the day, I still preserve the fact of the matter that when you make mistakes, you can comprehend what just happened a lot better. Okay. And because you can comprehend it, you naturally will avoid it in the future if it's in fact a mistake, or you will build your own personal unique system out of it that it's just better than reading a textbook. Textbook does help. It's a good foundation, right? But when you start executing and start making mistakes, that's what sets the winners apart from the losers. Okay. That's why 100,000 people are roaming around YouTube videos and will not close a deal ever. Okay. Because once you get into a program, you start executing. Okay. So now when we're talking about a sales program, again, when you get to that stage, that's the whole point of the 11 days challenge, because you know where you're missing the boat, where you can basically identify different stages and different processes that way you may be failing. Because if you call me and say, hey, I'm having trouble, I'm going to tell you what stage, which process. All right, do this, do that, do that. I know, because things change all the time in this game, right? And we will need to identify where you're missing something. But if you come and tell me, hey, so how do you wholesale? I'm going to be like, how do you wholesale? That's a good question. What's your number? I'm going to text you 11dayschallenge.com. Go there and get started. Does that make sense? It's just a lot of information. All right. So like I said, once you learned it, fill a pipeline, fill in the pipeline, that mindset, momentum, right? Without momentum, you can't really get anything going. You're human like the rest of us, as I always say, and you will fail. Why? Because you will quit. You just won't do anything if there's not enough momentum. So you need to have multiple key measurement places where you measure what's going on. I have another episode where I talked about the different key performance indicator in the game. And those are the places where you want to measure and say, what is my percentage? Okay, my percentage is low. Okay, I need to learn how to do this. So if your percentage, let me open that. If your percentage of leads to contract is low, then you know that, okay, you know what? Maybe my tone is too harsh. Maybe my accent is too harsh. Maybe it's not my accent. Maybe I'm not sensitive enough. What am I missing? There may be some real things that you can learn from a sales program. Yes, it could be some real things you can learn that will help you get more people to feel like they should sign up with you, because it's all really a feeling. It's about building a rapport with them that they feel guilty not even signing up with you, in addition to the fact that you're actually bringing value. So your intentions, the value you bring, may not be enough in real life, okay? But like I said, that's not where you really need to start the game from if you're a beginner. Measure the numbers, see if you're talking to a lot of people and you're not signing contract. Then you can say, maybe I give you some quick sales skills here and there. Learn how to handle objections. They wanted to talk to their daughter. When is the right time? Okay, can I call you back tomorrow to find out? Okay. For us, actually, in the 11 days challenge, we cover all of that with a special report that I show you how to prepare for your leads. It comes down to a numbers game. You got to have a pipeline at every one of those 5 stages. Needs to be a pipeline. If it's a pipeline, you don't have to overthink anything, because again, finding out if it's really your sales skills or not can be a little tricky. It may not be the sales. It may just be low quality of leads. If people are saying, yes, I want to sell, but they want retail price, you can't really be measuring those because they want retail price. Yes, even though they were leads, again, you're targeting the wrong audience. So everything needs to fit. All right. So that's basically what I have for you today. That's all I have on this episode. If you're brand new to all of this and you haven't gotten started yet, you go to 11dayschallenge.com and get started. If you actually want to execute, if you want to learn everything about wholesaling, listen, there are a bunch of free videos. There are about 100,000 different gurus. They're putting out free videos. They're giving out the game, right? That's everywhere, okay? But if you actually want to execute, you want a professional process where you can actually track your progress, then you want to go to 11dayschallenge.com, invest in yourself. First of all, time, yes, and possibly money, and get going, because successful people, they despise free lunch. Free lunch comes with a cost always. And that's all I have for you on this episode. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. If you have any other questions, I will look at it in the next 10 seconds. If not, I will see you next week, Tuesday. Keep plugging back, subscribe to the channel, because we will be releasing videos even while I'm away from the studio. But keep plugging back. If you're going through the 11 days challenge, the devil is a liar. I'm telling you, it's very tempting to accept your own excuses. Don't stop. Keep going all the way to the end of the 11 days challenge. I do have a special gift for you at the end of the 11 days challenge. Plus, I'm also looking for a few apprentices. You'll find out more information about that on the inside. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.